So in the previous lesson of our course, we have created this particular website and we have added different routes to it. So over here, you can see we have created home route, contact, blog, and about us page. And we have used the template inheritance by creating a base template. And we have added the nav bar to all the pages by using that particular template inheritance. So over here, you can see we have created multiple pages and we have added the route to it. So after this, we are going to be moving forward and we are going to be adding some database into our code. So we are going to be starting working with our database and we're going to be creating a model in which we are going to be adding different data from the users. So in this video, we will try to create us the contact us page. So we are going to be creating the contact us page, and over there we are going to be adding different fields such as name, mobile number, email address, and the query that the user has. So we can just take the input from the user in the form of user form, and we will just try to submit that form, and after that it should store that data inside our database. So let's start working on this database. So first of all, what we need to do is inside our home, we're going to be creating this page. So we are going to be selecting our folder that will be home, and in that we're going to be going inside the file which is named as models.py, and in here we're going to be creating a new model that will be a database. So over here we're going to be creating a new model that will be our database. So over here you can see we have this db.sqlite database, and in that we're going to be creating this particular table that we want to add over here. So we are going to be creating a table. We're going to be creating a table that will be storing table for storing uh, data from contact us page. So we're going to be writing a model that will be containing the fields that we want to add inside our model, inside our table. So over here I will do class that will be equals to contact, and after that we're going to be doing models dot model. So this is a particular format that we need to use to create a model or a table. So after this, we are going to be creating different fields in our database. So our database will be similar to an Excel file where there will be different columns, and in that we're going to be storing different data in the form of rows. So over here, we are going to be first of all storing the serial number. So we'll do a variable name as SNO that will be equals to models dot auto field, and we are going to be setting the primary key to true. So it will make this serial number as primary key, and it will be taking it with the help of the auto field. After that, we want the name of the user. So we are going to be creating a variable name, and inside that we're going to be storing models dot character field, and in that we're going to be providing the length for this character field. So I will do max length is equals to 50, and after that we are going to be creating a field for adding phone numbers. I will create a variable name phone that will be equals to models dot character field, and in that we will do max character or max length is equals to 15, let's say. And after that we are going to be adding the content. So we are going to be taking some message from the user that will be the content that the user has or the query that the user has. So we are going to be setting it as models dot text field, and it will be inside a function. After that we also need one more input field that will be the email of the user. So replace it with email, and we'll do max length as 100, or let's say 50. So after this, we will just try to save this code. So after we are done with this, we are going to be adding the form inside our contact us page, which is for HTML page. So over here we have the contact us form, and in that we need to add the content inside this. So what I will do is I will just do j.block, and in here I will just rename this block to body. And after adding this, we'll just try to save this code. And also in our base.html, we just need to add the body block over here. So you can see here is a block name that we just need to add a j block that will contain the body. So after this, what it will do is it will just fill in the blanks, this space. So whatever content is available in contact.html file inside this body, it will just do the fill in the blanks with the help of this particular piece of code. After this, we are going to be going to our Bootstrap website, and in there we are just going to be searching for forms, and we're going to be copying a form from there. So if I just click over here, the forms, and if we just try to scroll down and find out a proper form that we need, control, enable to find form. Okay, so in this forms, we are going to be copying this particular form, which we have over here. So I will just try to copy this, and going to be adding it inside the body that we have created over here. And I will just try to paste it. And if we just try to save the code, we go back to our browser, we just try to refresh this page. Over here you can see this is the output that we get. We have added this particular form, so we will just try to modify it now because we want to add all these fields in it. So let me show you what are the fields we need to add: the name, phone number, email address, and the content field. We just need to add that in our form. So we just need to make some changes, and you can see that the form is not looking good at all over here. So we are going to be adding it inside a container. So what I will do is to div container, div class container, and I will just try to close this div over here. And after that, we'll just copy this particular thing from here, and we're going to be adding it at the last, or the at the end of the form. And if we just try to save it, and now if we go back and try to refresh the page, now you can see it is inside a container, and it is looking far better than the previous version. After this, we're going to be adding more fields into it. So first of all, we are going to be taking the input from the user. So right here we have only two fields for the email and the password. So what I will do is I will just make a copy of this particular thing. So copy this and add it over here 2 times, and in that we're going to be making some changes. So we're going to be doing here name, and the type will be text instead of email. So we're going to be taking the name of the user in the form of text, and we're going to be renaming this as well text. And over here we have div id. So I will just try to remove this thing from here. This is not required. And in the id as well, we just need to type here name, and same for the email help. Instead of this, we are going to be renaming it to name. And after that, we just try to format it properly. And after that, we're going to be taking the email. So I will do email, and over here we have another div. Just try to remove this from here. We have an id, We're going to be renaming the ID to email. For this, let's try to see what all things we have now. And we have to add the phone number as well. So I will just here do phone, and we renaming this as well to phone. Type of this, adding the type as phone. Similarly, we're going to be changing the ID as well, phone. And I think we also need, so after this we're going to be also changing this particular thing. So I will just add here this form group, if in group, and type will be print. So this we will just try to remove this thing from here, the checkbox, and we will just keep the button. And we are going to be making changes on this text field. So we also want the content from the user. So for adding the content, we just need to change few things over here. So right here, what I will do is name it as content, so that moving this here, and the input will be in the form of form control. And instead of input, we're going to be taking text area. We will just try to remove this thing here. So this we are going to be changing the ID to content. This we'll just try to remove this, and we're going to be providing the columns that will be equals to 30, and the rows will be equals to 5, and we're going to be just closing this text area over here. So add text area, close. And if I just try to save the code, and if we go back to our website and try to refresh it, now you will be able to see that we are getting all the appropriate inputs that we want field. So we are getting all the appropriate input fields, the name, email address, phone number, as well as, okay, we just need to add here describe your issue. And if we save the code, try to go back to our website, try to refresh it, you will be able to see it is refreshing this, and we are getting all the fields that are required for our form to work. So once we are done with this, we also need to set the action of this form. So what we need to do is, over here we have this form, and we need to set the action to /contact, and we also need to set the method as post. And after adding this, we are done with this particular thing that we have created for the contact us page. So if you want, we can just remove this name block from here as well. So for now, we will just keep that, and we will just try to save the code. If we go back to our browser, try to refresh the page. So over here, if we add some data, we will be able to fetch it. So we just need to write some piece of code in our views.py file to fetch this data. Before that, we need to create the table first. So in our models.py file, we have created this particular table. Now we need to run the migration code. So we just need to do make migration, and after that migrate the table into our app. So before this, we just need to register our apps that we have created. So right here, we have created two apps, the blog app and the home app. So we just need to register them in the settings.py file. So I will just go here. So we will just click on the settings.py file of our project. And in there, we're going to be making some changes and registering our apps over there. So over here, you can see we have the install app section, application definition, and in here, we just need to provide the name of the apps that we have created. So for registering this app, first of all, we just need to go to this particular file, which is apps.py. And here we just need to copy this particular function from here. And we're going to be going back in our settings.py file. And in there, we're going to be pasting this. So what I will do is I will do home dot apps dot and the name of this function. So for home, the function name will be home config, and we're going to be separating it with a comma, and we're going to be adding the second app that will be our blog app. So I will do blog dot apps dot blog config, and after that we will just try to save this file, and we'll also check if the name of the file is correct. So over here, if we go, and over here if we go in apps.py, you can see home.config, and in apps.py you can see there is a function name home config. So after adding this, we are good to go. So we'll just try to save this file, we'll just close it, and we will also close the app.py file. So once we are done with that, we will just go in here, and over here you can see we have our home, and in that we have a folder name migration. So if we just try to run the command, that is just make the migration. So if I do python migrate manage.py make migration, and if I hit enter, so you will see there is a new file created which says 0001 underscore initial.py, and after that if I just run the command to migrate, so it will create a table for us. If I do my, or before that, what we will do is we will just try to register this app before running the migrate command. So for registering the app, what we need to do is, so for that, first of all, we just need to register this model inside our admin.py, and in here we just need to do, and in here we just need to pass a, and in here we just need to do from dot models, and this admin.py file is of the home app, and in there we are doing from dot models import contact, because we have created this particular table, and after that we just need to register it by passing this command that will be admin dot site dot register, and in here we're going to be just passing the name of this particular table. After this, if we just try to save the code, and what I will do is I will just try to run the server and so show you the output of the admin panel. If I try to run the server, we go to our website, and in here if I just add /admin, and if we hit enter, over here we just need to log in into our admin panel, and over here you can see we have created this particular contact. So on this page you can see we have this particular contact. So after logging into our account, So after logging in into our administrator account, you can see we have this contact. So after logging in into our admin panel, you can see we have a app named home. Inside that we have a table named contact. If I just click on this, you can see there is an error that it is showing. So we have not migrated the changes. So we just need to make the changes or migrate the changes. In that case, uh, so this error is occurring because we have not migrated the changes. So we just need to migrate the changes over here. So I will just stop the server and we're going to be running the command to migrate this table. So for that, I will just use the command make migration. Python manage.py migrate. And if I hit enter, so now the changes will be applied. And if we just try to run the server again, and if we go back to our website, and if I just go back and try to refresh this page, and if we click on contacts, now you can see we are getting that there are no contacts available and the error is solved now. So we have successfully created this table, which is the contacts table. And after that, we are going to be making our form work with this particular table. So whenever a user comes to this particular URL, that is the contact URL. So what I will do is I will just copy this, paste it, we'll do contact, and after the user comes to this URL, they will enter their details, and after clicking on submit, this data should be registered inside our contact database. So let's try to add that particular functionality now. So also we wanted to add another field in this models. So just try to find out the models over here. You can see we have added all the things, but I also want to add the timestamp at which the user has submitted this particular query. So I will just create another field that will be timestamp, that will be equals to models dot date time field, and in that we're going to be passing a query that will be auto underscore now underscore add, and that will be true, and we will add a comma, and we're going to be adding blank, that will be equals to true. After that, we will just try to save this code, and we go to our terminal. We will stop the server from running, and we're going to be running the command to make migrations again, and it will ask us for some things. So it is asking that some of the data that exists in this file does not contain this timestamp. So if you want to provide the timestamp or not, so if you want to provide the timestamp or not, it is asking for that. I will just click on 2 and hit enter. So we will just hit 1 and we will hit enter, and we will just hit enter again, and after that we are going to be making the migrations. So we'll just run the command to make migrate, and after that we are successfully make the changes into our database. So once we are done with this, we'll just try to figure out what is this issue that it is showing. So it is showing that your URL pattern contains a slash and it is unnecessary. So we will just try to remove this from our views of okay, in out the file, which is the URLs for the blog, and we just need to remove this from here. And if we just try to save it, now this error might get solved. So if I just run the server now, you can see the error is not coming. So we just need to remove this slash from here. So once we are done with this, we are going to be moving to our contact us page, and we're going to be taking the fields or the inputs that is coming from our front end, and we're going to be passing it inside our contact function. So in our contact form, we also need to add a CSRF token over here. We are taking the input from the user. So we just need to do C underscore token. Just need to add curly brackets, and we need to use the Ginger templating format over here. Remove this, add percentage symbol over here, and we will do the same over here. So this thing should work if we just try to save this, and after that we will just go back to our file. So I will just try to close all these unnecessary files that we have opened. So we are not going to be requiring all these files for now. Also closing this blog. I will only need the files from home. Also close all these fields from here, and we will only need these urls.py from our home and the views.py from our home file. So after this, we are going to be writing some piece of code in here, and we're going to be checking if our form is working or not. So I will do if request dot method is double equals to post. In that case, we're going to be printing out some message. We will do print. This is a post request. And after that, if I just try to save the code, okay, it should be method, and we will just check all the things are correct. Just save this. We go back here, and if we just try to save the form as well, we just open this web browser, and we will just go to our contact us form, and over here if I just try to refresh it, and if we just click on submit, so let's see in our terminal if we get the output. So over here you can see this is a post request. We are getting the appropriate output, and let's see what happens if I just remove this crf. And after that, let's see what happens if I just try to comment out this part that we have added for the crf, for the csrf token. If I just try to save the code now, and if we go back to the browser, if we refresh the page, and if I just click on submit, you can see it is showing that CFRF verification failed, request about it, and it is showing that CSRF token is missing. So to make this thing work, we just need to add this piece of code or this CSRF token and in this format. And after that, if I just save the code, and if we go back to our browser, we just try to refresh the page. In that case, just try to refresh. So you can see we are getting the appropriate output now. And over here, when we try to refresh the page, in that case, you can see we are not getting any output, but whenever we just click on the submit button, will get this response, that is, this is a post request. So we are now able to send the request from our front end to the back end, which is our contact function. So after this, we are going to be taking all the fields such as the name, email address, phone number, as well as the description from the user through the front end, and we're going to be passing it to our function, that is the contact function. So let's try to add that. So after that, we just need to add few changes into our contact page. So over here, we also need to add the names for these fields. So I will do name is equals to, and we're going to be passing name as name for the name field. Similarly, we're going to be adding the name field for other input field as well. We'll do for the email will be email, and after that we have phone number. So we need to be adding name for phone number as phone. Add a space over here. Similarly, we will do for the content as well. Space, do content, And once we are done with this, we will go into our use.py file, and over here we're going to be taking all the front end inputs and storing them inside a variable. So for that, what I will do is I will just try to create different variables such as name that would be equals to, and we're going to be doing request dot post. So inside this post request, we're going to be fetching the name. Similarly, we're going to be doing it for all the other fields. If I do this, and if we just change the names from here, so if I do phone, email, similarly I will do here email, and we are storing it in other variables. So we are just taking the content from the front end of our website and we are just passing it over here. And after this, we will just try to print out all these variables that we have created. So I will print out name, phone, email, and the content. So after this, we will just try to add some data in our contact us form. So I will just try to save this code as well as this part, and we will just try to save all the files once, and we will just go back to our browser. And if we just try to refresh the page, and over here you can see we are getting an issue. So it is showing that name is. After that, in our browser, we will just go to our home page, and after that, we will just try to refresh the contact us page, and we will just click on the contact us page. And if we just try to provide some data, such as some raw data, I will do some raw data that I have added over here. Just provide hello. This is a test for contact us form. Contact us form. And if we just click on submit, and if we go to our backend, and if we just see here, you can see here is the data that it is getting us. So we are getting the name, the phone number, email address, as well as the message from the user. So now we just need to pass this data into our models.py file, or the model that we have created, and we just need to pass that, and it will be stored inside our database. So let's try adding that particular code now. So after this, we just need to import the models. So we will do from dot models dot models. So it will take the models from this particular folder, and after that we need to import the contact, and after that we just need to pass this particular data inside our contact. So over here, what I will do is I will just do contact, and in here we're going to be passing different values to this contact. So over here we will do contact equals to contact with capital C, and in here we're going to be providing different values. So the name will be equals to name. After that, we are going to be separating it with a comma. We are going to be providing the email address that will be equals to email address. Going to be separating with a comma. Going to be providing the phone that will be equals to phone number. And after that, at last we have the content. We will do content dot. So once we are done with this, if we just try to save the code, and if we go back to our browser, over here you can see we have already opened this particular database for the contacts, and we have no contacts to be added, and the contacts is right now empty. So if we just try to save the code now, and if we go back to our browser, try to go to home and click on the contacts as form, and if we just add the raw data over here, and if I just do hello, and if we just click on submit, so it should store this data inside our database. This is how. So if we just go back to our database and just try to refresh it, so we click on tag. Okay, Go back here, check. Okay, so we have just created the object for this particular contact. We just forgot to save this. So we just need to create contact dot save. So it will save the data inside our database. Once we are done with this, we will just go back to our browser, add the raw data from here, just add this, and we will do hello. This is a test for act us form. If we save this, and after that, if we just click on submit, so now if we go back to our contact database and if we just try to refresh it, now you can see we are getting the output. So over here you can see here is the data that it has added inside the different fields. So now we are able to access, or we are able to provide some raw data. So if I just add some other data as pass, email address as this one, I add number, and if I do 1 2 3, and if we click on submit again, now if we go back, just try to refresh the page, now you can see we are getting the contact object 2 and 1. If we click on this, you can see we are getting the data, and we are successfully able to store it. Over here you can see that we are getting the contact object. Instead of this, I want the name of. So over here you can see that we are getting the contact object, and instead of this, I want it to tell us the name of the user as well as the email address of the user. So for that, what we just need to do is we just need to make a simple change in our code, which is going to be inside our models.py file. And if I just try to close this, and here we're going to be making a small change that will make the. So over here we're going to be making a small change that will make this. So over here we are going to be creating a new function that we will name it as f underscore underscore str underscore underscore, and after hitting enter you will get this result. So what I will do is I will this from here to be returning some data that will be the user. So we will type here message from, and we're going to be passing the name of the user over here. So we will do self.name name, as well as we're going to be providing the email address of that particular user. So to self.email. So after adding this, if we just try to save this, and if we go back to our admin panel, just try to refresh it, now you can see the message from Arbas, the message from AK, and as well as we are getting the email address of that particular person. So this is how we can access and change this particular output that we get in the admin panel. So now we are getting a proper output as we wanted it to be. So we are getting the message from and the name of the person as well as the email address of that particular person. So this is how you can make the changes in the database. So inside our form, you can see whenever we pass some data. So if I just add some random data over here and we just click on submit. So in the submit, you can see after submitting this data, it is just fetching the data and storing it in the backend, but the user don't know if the contact form is being successfully submitted or not. So to add that, we are going to be using success messages. So for adding this, we just need to search on bootstrap.com. We're going to be searching for a particular library that is going to be for alerts. So over here I will do alerts, and if I hit enter, so we will be able to see this particular alerts that are available in Bootstrap. So over here you can see there are different color success messages. So there are different color. So there are different color. So there are different color alerts over here. So we are going to be copying one of them from here. So copy this one for now, and we're going to be adding it in our contact us form. So over here, when we create our form, for this I will display this thing. After adding this, if we just go back to our form, try to refresh the page, and you will be able to see this particular thing over here. So a simple success alert, check it out, it's been printed out, and we are able to see the success message or the success alert. Okay, so we have added this. Instead of this, I want a alert that we can close. So let me just try to find out that one. We can dismiss that alert. So there is that particular alert. So over here, you can see another example of this dismissible alert. So I will just copy this from here, and we're going to be adding that in our code. So instead of this, I want add it over here. Instead of this alert warning, we're going to be making it success, and we're going to be adding this particular piece of code in here. And if we just try to save this and try to remove this one from here, so that if we just save it, go back to our browser, we just refresh our page. So over here you can see we are getting this dismissible alert. So I will just click on this close, so it will dismiss this alert. So we have added this particular dismissible alert into our code. After that, we are going to be making some changes into this code, so it will be fetching the errors or the success message from our views.py file from this particular contact function. So let's try to add that now. So after this, we just need to make some changes in this. So first of all, we are going to be adding a for loop. So I will do for j for, and we will just add this thing, and after that we will do message in messages, and after this particular thing we are going to be adding this for loop. So we are going to be running a for loop, and we're going to be checking for all the messages that we are getting from our backend, and we're going to be displaying different data to the user. So after adding this, we are going to be passing the message.tags over here. So instead of success, let's say if the message is in the form of danger, or the form is being not submitted, in that case we want to show the user a danger alert box. So for that, we just need to pass here danger. So instead of this, we just need to pass the tag of the message in here. We just add this particular format for danger templating, and we just need to messages dot tag. After adding this, we will try to copy this again, and we're going to be removing this and adding it here. And in that, we are going to be just passing the message. Remove this to message, and add a colon over here. And after that, if we just try to save this, and once we are done with this, we will just go back to our, so in the views.py file, we just need to import this particular messages that we have added. So for that, we just need to do from Django dot contrib, need to import messages. And after that, in our request form, we're going to be doing messages dot success. You want to y request, and we're going to be passing the message over here. That will be well to contact us page. And after adding this, if we just try to save the code, if we go back to our browser, try to refresh this page, so you will be able to see welcome to the contact us page. We are getting the appropriate output, but the color of this message is not being displayed. So let me just try to check what is the issue over here. So we are sending the success message that in our contact form, we have added the tag. So here we just need to rename this thing to tags. Instead of tag, we have added only tag over here. If I just try to save this, we go back to our browser, try to refresh it. Now you will be able to see welcome to the success, welcome to the contact us page, and it is showing the alert box in the form of green, which is success message. If I just try to close it, so you will be able to see that it will close that particular alert box. After that, if I just try to provide like after that, we can also pass message. And if you want to pass the error, in that case, we just need to remove this success and we just need to do message.error. If we just try to save it, try to refresh the page over here, you can see in the output screen, we are getting welcome to contact us page, but the color of this particular alert box is not showing up. So for this, we just need to make some changes into our settings.py file of our project. So for that, we just need to go into our settings.py file, which is inside our app, which is our project, that is code block 1. So for this, first of all, we just need to go to our settings.py of our project, which is right here. And in here, we just need to import a particular library that will be from Django .contrib.message .message import constraints as message. Messages. So that we are going to be going in the bottom of the file, and we're going to be doing message underscore tag. So we are going to be overriding the tags that are available in this particular library. Here we are going to be renaming the message messages.error, and we are going to be renaming it to danger. In single quotes, I will provide. And if we save the code and if we go back to our browser, we just try to refresh this page, now you can see we are able to see the red alert box now, and we are able to pass the appropriate message to the alert box. So if we guys go back into our contact us form, and over here we just change it to success, in that case it will show us the alert box in green. If we just go back, try to refresh the page, so over here we can see the output. So we have successfully overwritten the inbuilt properties of this particular library with the help of this particular code that we have written over here. So we have overriding the messages with the help of this code, and we are just removing the error, and instead of that we are passing the danger in the output field, and we are just importing this particular piece of code. So first of all, we just need to import this, and after that we just to make this change to override the data which was error to danger. So after that, we will just go into our use.py file. We will just close the settings, and over here we are going to be just checking for the form if the user have filled all the details correctly or not. So over here I will do if, and inside this if we are going to be providing different conditions. So I will do length of name is less than 2, or length of email is less than 3, less than. And similarly we are going to be adding more conditions over here. So I will do this twice. In that we're going to be just changing the values. We change value of phone, and if the phone number is less than 10, and similarly the length of this content is less than 4, in that case we're going to be giving the user an error message. So we're going to be doing messages dot error. We're going to be passing the request as well as the error message that we want to do. Please fill the form correctly. And after this we are going to be adding an else statement, and in that we are just going to be submitting the form and adding this particular data inside our database. And I will just try to comment out this part, and over here we're going to be doing message.success. We do copy this one instead, copy it, cut it from here, add it over here, message.success request, and we are going to be displaying a message to the user that your message is sent. And if we just try to save the code, and if we go back to our website, if we just try to go here and refresh the contact us page, if I just add some random data, this I provide some random data. If I just click on submit, you can see please fill the form correctly. So we just need to add all this so we just need to follow all these things that we have added over here. So we just need to satisfy all these conditions. So the name should be more than 2 characters, the email should be more than 3 characters, the length of the phone number should be greater than 10, or and the content of the form should be greater than 4 characters. So let me just try to add some more data to something like this, and right here hello. And if I just click on submit, now you can see your message is been sent. And if we just go back to our admin panel, if we just refresh it, you can see here is the data that it has captured. So we have a lot of data that it has added into our file. So this is all the raw data that it has collected. So over here you can see this is the list. So over here you can see this is the latest data that we have added into our table. So this is how you can validate the form with the help of this, and we are also able to display the messages with the help of the alert box to the user. So I think that was it for this particular lesson. It is almost more than 1 hour of content in this lesson. So I think we should stop right over here. So in this particular entire lesson, we have created this contact us form, and we have added all the functionalities such as taking the input from the user from the front end, as well as we have created a database where we are storing all this data which we are gathering from the front end of our website. So this is how we can perform all the CRUD operation with the help of this SQLite database that we have created, and we have created a table, added different data into it, and we are also accessing this data with the help of the admin panel. So that was it for this particular lesson. Let's move to the next lesson of our course.